Call the Goldsboro Special State Session agenda for January 20th. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Borough Council approval of the agenda as presented. We held a executive session, and we have an approved agenda. Motion on the floor.
I'll make the motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? The ayes have it. We held an executive session on January 12th to discuss and seek consultation on personnel matters and with the solicitor regarding ongoing litigation. Minutes. Council has a copy of the minutes from last month. I believe. Yes, you did. December 8th. December 8th, yes. Do I have a motion on the floor to approve said minutes?
Make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Police and fire department report. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? The ayes have it. Police report. Absolutely.
Good evening, council. Good evening, board. My name is Sergeant Taylor. I'm with the Township Police Department. I appreciate you guys having me here. I'm filling in for Lieutenant Diddy today. He has a family matter he needed to attend to. Moving forward, the goal, though, I will say, is to kind of put more of our leadership faces out there to not only you guys, but also your candidate. Just to familiarize yourself with some of our leadership and see other faces other than maybe the lieutenant and the former chief. So thank you on that regard. This month here, I'm going to report to you guys 32 total calls for service, 1 related domestic, all other were 27 related with 3 traffic citations, 1 warning. I will say that December brought a lot of challenges to our police department, not to make excuses, but early in the month we transitioned a very large overtaking project is changing RMS systems. That is our entire records management system. We went to a totally new one, so that dedicated several days of training, familiarization amongst our officers. And a lot of that was unfortunately them sitting in chairs at the office and learning to navigate that system. We do, obviously, we've gotten better throughout the month. We've been more familiar, so operations are kind of back up to speed in terms of less station time, more back out on the road. I wanted to bring just from the attention of the traffic offenses here, you'll see is the numbers are rather low. However, we had several incidents that were initiated in the borough that resulted in either arrest or enforcement action just outside of your borough. So we had several this month, DUI related specifically, that officers initiated their contact in the borough, but unfortunately that staff reflects in the township, but it doesn't necessarily reflect that we weren't in the borough or activity wasn't being done. So we did hear some complaints through your normal channels, but also through social media, some intoxicated drivers leaving the area, things like that. So that was something that me as a patrol supervisor, an order was given up to address that kind of head on. My only other thing in regards to some of our sergeants being here in the future is the strategy behind that is really we're the ones on a day-to-day basis that get to implement direction in order to our squad. So if there's complaints or concerns that need to be addressed, that usually from historically, say, started at the top by the chief and lieutenant and filtered its way through the patrol division. Now we welcome the opportunity to address things on patrol level right in front of us, right here. So my guys are out on the street tonight. I'm the one working and covering the street. Anything that needs to be addressed, I will be the one that gives in that direction. So it's more of a direct line rather than cutting out the middleman, not that the chief or the lieutenant were middlemen, but I'm the one that's responsible for what happens between the hours of 1800 and 6 tonight. So if there's a complaint that needs to be addressed, please, by all means, we're going to welcome that. And hopefully, be a little bit more active in that back and forth with you guys. So if there's anything else that you guys would like to address with me or have questions, I'm happy to answer. I may not know the answer, but I will diligently work to get the answer for you. I appreciate you being graceful in the fact that this is my first time in front of you guys. this kind of capacity, so thank you for that.
I'm sorry, what's your name again?
John Taylor, one of our patrol sergeants.
How would we get a hold of you? Like, I've been calling Diddy.
Right, so you mean like directly?
Yeah.
I'm happy to share my department cell phone with anybody, the work phone, that's why they gave it to me.
911.
What's that?
911.
Yeah, or your historical methods of 911, and just simply ask for a dispatch phone call. It's gonna be either me, or if you want to speak to the supervisor specifically, they will address it to me. Or if I'm on something, one of my officers will say, hey, this came in and they'd like to speak to the supervisor. So, yep, not a problem at all. I did speak with President Smith prior to. One of the things I wanted to come in here and address head on was we unfortunately had a bad crash down here at the boat launch area. I'm sure you guys are aware. There was a kind of a multi-agency effort in kind of tackling that, but I heard and I saw through the social media over the kind of the weeks leading up to that that was an issue of kids driving, burnouts, things like that. I'm here tonight to ask, hopefully, that unfortunately that tragic incident has curtailed that, as well as some more officer presence down there. He informed me that the Fish and Boat Commission is planning to put in gates, which hopefully also is going to be a good deterrent for after-hours activity down there that shouldn't be. So if that continues, again, please bring that up, we will address that. Me as a patrol supervisor, it's always been my standing order with the guys in my span of control to give a lot of attention to the boroughs, because ultimately you guys are owed that as well, and that's, we have 4 squads. I try to focus my time in our boroughs. Your borough is going to Brookhaven. So, yeah, I'm open for any more questions, sir. That's it. If you need me, call me.
Thank you, Sergeant Salins.
Good, sir. All right, I'll give this to you, Mayor. Thank you.
All right, we're gonna back up real quick. Can I get a motion on the floor to accept January 5th reorganization minutes?
I'll make that motion.
We'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Ayes have it. And moving on to citizens' remarks. Anybody have citizens' remarks? If you would, please approach and address yourself. None? All right. Back on the regular schedule. Falling under the fire department, fire report for the month of December, we had 22 calls. Total calls for the year, we had 294 calls. We had 6 in the 20th box, 5 in the 27, 10 in 31, and 1 in the 68. We held 1 training. This past Sunday, we had the Borough Appreciation Dinner. It went very well. We had a nice show of residents that came out and supported. It was a meal that was provided for free for Borough residents. And that was a sign of appreciation for all that they've done in supporting us. So, but again, I just wanted to say thank you. Moving on, nothing else further to follow. Do I have a motion to accept the police and fire report?
Make the motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? Ayes have it. Moving on to the mayor's report.
I got nothing. Yeah. Do you need me to elaborate?
Do I have a motion on the floor to accept the mayor's report?
I'll motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Council has a copy of the ELH&P report and the water company report. Any discussion on that? Do I have a motion on the floor to accept that report?
I'll make the motion.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Engineers report. Nothing. Do I have a motion to accept the engineers report?
Motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Against? The ayes have it. Solicitors report.
Nothing standalone this evening.
Okay. Motion to accept the solicitors report.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Committee reports. Joyce. Anything from the committee reports? Any improvements, work being done?
Well, I had, discussed, I have to name my mouth. The alley back here in the sinkhole is Sean Crumley, and that's gonna get underway to level that off so it doesn't pool down there at the intersection by the Fireman's Club.
Okay.
So we're working on that. But other than that,
Where are we at with getting the list of the people of the committees? Did we get that list together yet?
There was only, what was it, like 3 people, Matt Kinzer, who's on the,
The sewer.
Sewer
Sewer.
authority, currently it's me, John, and, Bill Ferrer.
So there's people
That
that
is
need
good.
appointed to that.
Yeah, we have 2 vacancies now in turn of the year.
For what, the sewer authority?
Sewer
Yes.
authority.
Is that something we need to adjust here?
We can make those appointments, which I think we'll discuss it in the next meeting.
Anything from EMA?
No, it was fine.
Finance, we are in the process of getting paperwork finalized with the banks so we can continue conducting business and payroll. One thing I did want to, well, I'll wait until street and highways, sanitation and sewer. There were discussion of the conditions of the sewer lines. Do we know how old those sewer lines are?
Was that the sewer lines or was that the stormwater?
Well,
Sewer
stormwater,
lines.
but sewer is different. And do we know the condition of those sewer lines?
I was gonna ask Mr. Enser that, but he's not here.
Alright,
Um,
maybe we can get in touch with the township and see if we can get it, unless we have a copy. Do we have Joyce, can you, at your earliest convenience, when you have time, amongst everything else,
Excuse me,
dig up the last township inspection?
Building inspector, sewer lines.
Township does not. We have an outside contractor come in. Who is that?
We contract with, I believe, lowest bidder, which is currently, Brent Zigworth from the township.
Okay.
Currently, the sewer lines are televised there's 3 phases, we do one about once a year. So televised one phase once a year.
Does the borough get a copy of the report then?
Yeah, the sewer authority does.
Okay.
Are they analyzed for like priority for replacement or?
They're analyzed, by, Brent who gives us a report, whether actions are needed. I believe we had one lateral that needed to be addressed this past year. But yeah,
How old are those lines?
they're old, I mean, I don't know exact.
Wasn't that put in the shower?
That was my concern. We're looking at stormwater and the current condition of the water system. That's looking at, all phases, stormwater, water, and sewer.
Yeah,
And
they were put in,
conditions
the
of
ones in Shelley's were put in when Shelley's was put in.
Yeah, and I believe that was back in the eighties?
they're like
Early
30-ish years old.
Late
Yes,
Yeah.
late eighties.
I think the first the house was built in 87.
Yeah. Alright.
so again, are the sewer lines in good shape?
Yeah, they're televised on a cycle and have, no issues to report.
Okay.
Okay, good.
And if there is an issue, the sewer authority takes care of it.
Yeah. Street and highways, thank you, Matt. Street and highways, we had a tree down on Riverside Drive, and from my understanding, we have a standing ordinance in place that, Riverside Drive was, taken under, borough roads. The only concern I had with it was the tree that came down was actually on private property, and the turnaround for said Riverside Drive is actually on a property that's assessed. So we just have to be careful on what work's being done down on that turnaround on Riverside, especially if it's on private property. So, the other thing too is, at the end of the road, it says, I believe, private property do not enter, or keep
It just
out.
says private property, I think.
Yeah,
Private drive.
Private
drive. Looking to see if we can get that taken down. If that is a borough road and it's recognized both by ordinance and by the state, then have that removed.
I had
And then
discussed,
sign in
Because-
place
Put a
saying
dead
no
end.
outlet.
Well, yeah, there is a sign up there now that says no through fare, but my recommendation is the hand scribbled signs that are put up, they need to come down because that gives the people the wrong impression.
Right.
Especially if it's a borough road. and we're maintaining it. You have trash that go back there, plow goes back there.
We can put proper signage up.
Yeah.
To the point on, private property and maintenance obligation to the borough, I have a form access easement agreement if need be, and I'm happy to provide the borough office with it if they need, to use that in connection with the property
Yeah.
owner.
Yes, if you could, please. Moving on, electric, utility and water company zone, or electrical utility and water company. Any report? None?
It's going smooth.
Good. Zoning, any report from zoning? No. Motion to accept the committee reports.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor? All those against? The ayes have it. Moving on to unfinished business. First bit of business will be the tax collector for Goldsboro Borough. Do I have a motion on the floor to appoint and approve the York County Tax Office for Goldsboro Borough for 2026?
I'll make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Against.
The ayes have it. The auditor for Goldsboro Borough. I have a motion on the, motion on the floor for resolution 2026, to appoint and approve Clackett and Associates as independent auditor for Goldsboro Borough for 2026.
Make a motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Okay. Moving on, it's chopped off the bottom, but utility pole at Valley.
Which resolution number are you gonna get back?
What's the, do we know the sequential number? Is that the first one?
Probably,
It should be, 2026-1.
yeah.
The utility pole at Valley Road and Pine Grove. There's some discussion, regarding putting a pole up. Any further discussion needed for that?
My only point of bringing that up was right there at the intersection of Pine and Valley. That's a low spot out there where when it floods out, you know, water lays in there to help people see that, both coming off the bridge and coming down Valley Road. And if I remember correctly, when that road washed out here a few years ago, that was kind of the general area to have one there at the corner of Valley and Pines Road to kind of light that area up. The reason I brought that up was that when it's flooding, to be able to see that water's across the road there.
Are you saying at the fishing hole or on the other side there?
So there's the one there right now at the fishing hole that's kind of in the parking lot area, that's kind of midway along there. I'm talking towards the bridge, like towards where Valley Road comes and it comes across the bridge. No, I was thinking on, I was not thinking where the picnic table is. I was thinking across the road from there, and that would light
On the
that
corner, on the corner where the park company at.
Yeah, somewhere in that vicinity there that lights up that intersection. And the other request I had along with that was to get that light, we have the light in the middle, and then the light, I'd like to see a light right at the bottom of the hill there. That's another spot where I've seen water collect and pile up, and that's kind of the dark spot when you get down to the bottom of the hill there.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I just brought that up. I've sat out there and watched the water come across the road over there. Just had concerns that if we could light it up, it might help.
Can I add something to that whole issue? There was an idea that was brought forth about getting a sign for Goldsboro also that could be lit up down at the bottom to identify ourselves, especially for the tractor trailers that decide to drive from town.
There usually
Yeah.
there is a sign.
Like a big lit sign, so that, yeah.
Because the one that used to be at the picnic table, that's not there anymore, right?
No.
Yeah, that, I want that.
It's sort of, you just go in there and
Just
have
sign it
one
off.
there, so.
Valley Road, say Goldsboro.
Yeah, but it's not there. I think that should be up on the hill.
She's trying to say
where the sign
Yeah.
is.
Like right by the
Where the
area.
break road is.
We have that transformer down there
So if we wanted to add anything in the future, it could come off of that transformer that's sitting down there.
Where did the fire company get their sign?
The sign board.
Yeah,
They're not cheap.
I know.
Yeah.
Not sure exactly, but I can certainly find out.
Yeah,
They took care of all that. and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
But,
just so we can
certainly
get a
find
price
out.
range.
Yeah. Our old sign board actually came with the borough, so I don't know, it's down in the shed.
It's here somewhere, isn't it?
Now, that's the old one with the slide in lettering, but
I mean,
if we wanna
it's-
upgrade and update.
I mean, for the time being,
Yeah,
Kids will just mess with it.
yeah.
better not.
Well, we put one right down here on Broadway, won't we have to put one down below, what is that, York Street? At the other end, down by Ron's house and stuff?
Yeah.
Coming in, so you'd have to have two signs.
Yeah,
Yeah, get out by that.
And how much are those signs?
well, that's what Douglas is gonna look into.
Oh, okay.
We might be able to find other options for that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, even if it is another sliding board sign, it's better than nothing.
right. Are there any signs up for these trucks coming through there, no engine brakes, no Jake brakes, or anything like that within the borough?
No.
Nothing.
Because you can't restrict them because it's a state road.
Oh, okay.
And most of the trucks that travel on the state road down through the borough are going up to Midway, river, up the river. That's a state road, they can't do anything about it. We can't enforce that.
Right, okay.
The closest thing you can do to enforce that is noise ordinance. But they're traveling mostly during the day anyway, so.
I mean, maybe like a no trucks over a certain.
Good luck.
It's a state road.
Yeah.
The state would have to restrict, do that restriction, not.
And for us to put it on borough alleys, it's not feasible as far as price goes for a sign.
There's also a process for that as well,
Yeah.
in the vehicle code.
Yeah.
Plus, we do have trucks coming in there into the, Goldsboro Fireman's Club.
Right.
Which,
So, would we be interested in putting a pole and 2 lights out over the hill, or?
Yes. I'm not interested in that.
You are? Alright, well, I'll make a motion that we put a telephone pole there at Pine and Valley,
I'll
and then
second.
put 2 lights.
I would recommend that we put a cost proposal together or
Yeah,
something
cost.
that can get in
table
front
it to the next.
borough council, so maybe direct the office to look at.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Joyce, can you get a chance, then get a price cost analysis on 2 poles and 2 lights?
1 pole and 2 lights.
One pole and 2
You didn't want one in
There's
there?
already one there at the bottom.
Oh, there is no.
Yes.
Yeah.
One pole, 2 lights.
Across the bridge.
No.
Not on the far side of the bridge, on
Town
this
side
side.
of the bridge.
On this side of the bridge, and then right at the bottom of it.
Well, should we go more up Valley Road a little bit where you're talking about? Are you trying to go up Valley Road a little bit, what were you talking about, like where you were sitting?
So when I was sitting out there, I was sitting at the bottom of the hill going out of town,
Right.
and they were coming off the bridge hitting the water there. So that's why I was talking like right there, somewhere in the vicinity of where Valley comes into Pine. And that's that chunk that washed out right there. I wasn't, Ron, I wasn't looking at going across the bridge, I was looking at staying
This,
on Goldsboro side of the bridge.
on the other side of the bridge, isn't that Newbury Township?
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, we don't want it.
All right, moving forward, chopped off on your 3rd page, the employee handbook. So, the employee handbook was looked over, there's a draft. Yeah, if you would please.
Yeah, I previously prepared this draft employee handbook towards the end of last year. There were still some items going back and forth and correcting, and gaining more alignment with some of the feedback received from office personnel. I think we're closer, and I've received positive feedback from those revisions, but I would hold off on formal approval now, just to touch up 1 or 2 more sections and look at finalizing this at the next meeting.
Yes, council members, and if you get an opportunity, and I'll forward this out, which I have in my email, the draft that was looked over by our solicitor. If you see anything that you would like to make changes or annotations or noted or whatever, I welcome that from the council in a whole. And then, I'll send those to, our solicitor, Iden, and, he'll make the adjustments and advise back, otherwise yes or no, or however. And then at which point, then hopefully, this can be approved and put to the agenda.
Are we gonna get a draft this evening?
Yes.
To look over?
Yep,
February?
within 30 minutes after this meeting, you'll have a copy of the draft.
Yeah, I've got my phone, sir.
Okay. So, all right. So we will table that for now. I welcome all of council's input on that. Moving on, felon property, and electric.
Yeah, I can give a brief update on this as well. I had followed up on an email thread with Chris Bell, the property owner, and MedEd, where we were going back and forth, and MedEd is still outstanding on providing us a last piece of information so that council has a full informed decision. So at this time, since we're still waiting on that, I wouldn't recommend any formal action and table this until we get back from MedEd.
I want to make the recommendation that we table that. So do I have a motion on the floor?
I'll make a motion to that effect.
All right.
Second.
All those in favor? Nay. The ayes have it. Okay. All right, moving on, council persons' comments. Peter, would you have anything to discuss or bring up?
No.
No?
I did, I did get, the ATV ordinance got brought up again. I did look up the ATV ordinance. I did my research. I'm not gonna name any names, who did what, but if anybody is interested in looking at the ordinance, there was no violation or anything. So it is up here if anybody was curious about that.
What is it?
It is on the website,
Yeah.
but there was no violation.
Ron, anything for me?
The only thing I wanted to bring up was the resolution about the meetings, everybody should have got a copy of it. It was a resolution about all public meetings will be held in the basement.
Go on, Ron.
Do you have it, okay?
Yeah.
Everybody have a copy of it?
Yep.
You just want to give it a quick rundown?
Yeah, I can speak to that. Okay, so, if the residents of the borough will kindly notice the setup this evening. It's a work in progress. The plans are to conduct our businesses as professionals in a professional format. With that being said, I want to be able to look at the residents that are present. I'm not expecting a council member's back to be facing a resident in this borough, or anybody that is not part of the borough. That's very unprofessional and should not be looked upon in any manner. So, moving forward, all meetings are going to be conducted in this format where we're facing you, where we're talking to you, where we can actually listen to what you have to say and share with us, and not be talking to somebody's back. Milton Hershey did it the best way. Nobody sits in a corner. And that's the way this should be carried and conducted as well. You should be facing everyone. Going further, there is a resolution that will be proposed probably within the next month or this evening.
You'd have to amend the agenda,
Well,
but
we
yes.
can amend the agenda.
Make a motion to amend the agenda to include the approval of resolution, to accept a resolution establishing permitted public meeting spaces within the borough building and restricting the use of all other areas for public meetings. All public meetings will be conducted in this borough hall here, and not in offices. An office is meant for executive meetings or to conduct business of the borough. But this borough hall here that we're sitting in now is where public meetings are to be held, to provide everybody the opportunity to actually be heard and hear what the council discusses. So with that amendment in place, do I have a motion to accept?
Motion. Yeah.
Let's have vote on
Yeah.
the motion to amend.
That's, do I have a motion to accept the amended agenda?
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Mike, second.
Second. All those in favor? All those against? The ayes have it. Yeah. All right. Do I have a motion on the floor to accept resolution 2026-2? The resolution establishing permitted public meeting spaces within the borough building and restricting the use of all other areas for public meetings. Motion on the floor.
Motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? The ayes bear.
That includes up top of the ramp here too.
Yes.
Okay.
The other thing, we're gonna bring up the amendment to the ordinance for separating the treasurer, just so we.
No, not yet. That has,
I think we should discuss the new business, then we can bring that up afterwards.
there's a reason for it.
Oh, okay.
No, we're good. Okay, Will, any comment from yourself?
Yeah, and I'm not asking for this for the next meeting or anything, but I'm asking that we could have the information for the meeting to receive it the Friday before the meeting, so that we can review, for example, meeting minutes and have a chance to look at things, instead of just coming in here cold and having to run through that stuff. I know, Joyce, it's gonna take you a little bit to get up to speed, but if we could shoot for that someday in the future, is
Like maybe
just my comment.
No, I totally agree with that. I think everybody should be.
Yeah, I'd like to be able to pick them up the Friday
Yeah.
before, review.
So we're gonna actually pick them up in-house, or they're gonna be emails?
My suggestion would be, you have all the emails thus far?
And if they would
If
prefer.
you
to
just
pick them up
email them
in-house,
out,
we can have
yeah,
them.
I'm fine with that.
Yes, I absolutely.
I would actually prefer that if you could email.
Makes it
them out.
easier for you, you won't have to worry about being here.
And whether it's a Thursday or the Friday, whatever, just as long as
Just
we
whenever
have
it's done.
the weekend to kind of study that stuff.
Right.
before we can-
No, I think that's a good idea.
That's all I
Minute taker, you're good with that? We'll get the minutes put together? Thank you.
And you did say that we would be able to pick a hard copy up at the office.
Yes, because whatever's
Because the
emailed
last
out
email
will
we
also
got.
be, yes, whatever's emailed out will also be available in person too.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I know.
Bill?
Nothing.
Mike?
I think we're ready for this now.
Alright.
Yeah.
Open the floor up again to citizens' remarks. Any citizens' remarks?
Dan Hope, 44810 Borough.
Store our stuff.
Bill, sorry.
I'm sorry.
So, some of you guys want to get here to the treasury report and race through it like normal. So I got a couple of questions. Under the utility, bill 6521 says Charlie Beach Creek utility expenses. Does anybody know what that's for?
We pay him out of both accounts.
Excuse me?
We pay him out of both accounts.
Yeah, I'm talking specifically about check 6521.
What is it over?
It's under bills,
Bill, under utility, the second one there under
Yeah.
utility.
it's.
And for $1,050.98.
So he gets paid out of the actual like borough and the utility accounts.
I'll get to that in a second. You know what that is for?
It's actually his pay.
No. It's based on this line is Charlie Brook Street utility expenses. What are those expenses?
Well, then it's gonna be his transportation, his cell phone,
So, does anybody know, I've been looking, I can't find any documentation that council has authorized their expenses. Further, I requested right to know the documents, and what I received was a number for mileage and calculation, without date, reason, and mileage. Also just says cell phone written on it and insurance written on it. So those are not IRS accountable meeting requirements. So I'm wondering why we keep paying them by check when these should be included in this W-2. So is Goldsboro not paying income tax on these expenses when they don't meet IRS accountability requirements?
They definitely do. I mean, even if, when we get paid, well, like when the office staff get paid, you got paid out of the utility account and you got paid out of borough, the actual
That's
general.
not the situation. Are you getting reimbursed for mileage,
No,
cell phone, health insurance, and are you familiar with what the
he
IRS?
does not get paid
requires?
out of, he does not get health insurance.
Okay, I have some time cards where it's written on there.
For health insurance,
It's insurance, I think it's the health insurance.
that would be his car insurance.
Council never authorized paying his car insurance.
Well, it's not gonna be health insurance, he's not full-time technically.
But it needs to give her a back that you want. My question and concern is that we're not properly reporting income as defined by the IRS. And this is probably been over quite a long time. That's something council should be concerned with. Because there are heavy penalties if that is the case. That's kind of what it looks like. Alright, so then I drop down to Goldsboro Borough Council Charlie paid tax reimbursement. And then, see you guys have Joyce's paid tax reimbursement. Is there any documentation that authorizes those reimbursements or pay for dues assigned? I haven't been able to find any of that. Sorry, you guys want to know this? So, yeah, I couldn't find any documentation that even appointed the borough manager as the employee and for anything of the ELHP. So, we're wondering if these transfers are not authorized, or if somebody has documentation on the client's website, or what we have. And then, I mean, specifically with Joyce's pay, she was hired by Charlie, for what position was that?
Assistant borough manager.
All right, can council ever create that position? And establish pay,
Charlie could have hired whoever he wanted.
based on what?
That's just what, in his job title, apparently.
That's not how that works. Your job title
Do you
doesn't
have his
grant you
contract?
actually- We have the contract.
He did
I
have a
requested the
contract.
contract and was given an offer letter from 2019 October.
So there was no contract binding.
Was that?
There was no contract binding, apparently. But,
I didn't catch
but
that.
there was no binding contract then. But
Binding contract?
there was no contract.
Correct. But you said it was in his contract, and he didn't have a contract. So I'm wondering, how does he get to create, hire,
It was in
establish
his job
pay?
description.
Council ever passed on the job description?
If the concern is Joyce's employment, that's a subject under new business, and Charlie no longer works for the borough.
It's on the expenses.
Yes, Charlie, your question is Charlie's decisions, Charlie is no longer.
No, I'm just kind of questioning why, what authorizes Joyce, and Charlie at this point, also, that was my original,
The responsibilities of borough manager outlined in the borough's adopted ordinance prescribing the duties of the borough manager.
That's not in there. So.
Well, I think I could argue-
What I'm asking council to do is, if you have the documentation that says these are okay, that's fine. If you don't, then council should be very careful on what they vote yes to on expenses. This isn't the only thing that is questionable.
Well, I think, and I appreciate your comments on that. I think at this point in time, moving forward, due diligence will be taken in regards to matters at hand and what's been discussed. to include, new business, the assigning of the borough manager. Okay?
We didn't have a handbook before either. The handbook, was there like an original
No.
handbook, or that's
There
the
was no
first?
handbook.
There's been a number of steps taken to more formalize efforts of employment.
I found a lot of failure in documentation and control systems. That's my concern.
Any other citizens' remarks? Moving on to new business. Motion to appoint Joyce McElroy, hopefully I pronounced that right, as borough manager slash secretary slash treasurer, for the time being effective 1/6/2026 pursuant to the terms within a management agreement prepared to the satisfaction of the borough solicitor.
I make that motion.
Go ahead.
Can I have a question on that?
Yes, absolutely.
Is that administrative secretary, financial secretary?
Borough council
Borough
secretary.
Council Secretary.
Borough council secretary.
Yes.
Bill made the motion.
I made a
I'll
motion.
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? The ayes carry. Motion to authorize and provide for a position fidelity bond for the newly appointed borough manager slash secretary slash treasurer in the amount recommended by the staff and solicitor. Motion on the floor.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? The ayes have it. Moving on, resolution 2026-3. -2 will be the public meetings. This is -3, to update authorized signatories on borough accounts. Motion on the floor to accept.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? The ayes have it. Resolution 2026-4, approving the Goldsboro rates and fees for 2026.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? Ayes carried. Borough Council has a copy of the treasurer's report. Do I have a motion to accept the treasurer's report?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those against? The ayes carried. Borough Council has a presentation of bills. Do I have a motion to accept the bills as paid?
Second.
All those in favor? All those against? Any announcements? Hearing none, take a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Make a motion.
Do I hear?
Did you want to advertise the ordinance?
Oh, yes, yes. I did not accept the adjournment. Which one were we advertising?
Yeah, so as I understand it, there's interest to separate,
Oh, yeah.
in the future, the
Yeah.
positions of treasurer and secretary. Right now, there's an ordinance prescribing that the manager fills the role of manager, secretary, and treasurer. I believe you wanted to introduce a
Yes.
motion to amend the agenda
Yes.
to authorize advertising.
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda to publicly advertise the separation of the title of borough manager slash secretary slash treasurer to read borough manager slash secretary. Motion on the floor to amend the agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor? Against? The ayes carry. Now, with that being said, do I have a motion on the floor to post public the resolution,
And
advertisement for the ordinance to separate the borough manager slash secretary slash treasurer duties to read as borough manager slash secretary.
Make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Ayes carry. Now, motion to adjourn the meeting.
Motion.